Welcome to another episode of the question and answer sessions. In this video, I will go over some of the questions and also the analyzed charts from my Telegram group members. And in this episode, I will focus on the recent price correction and what you need to know. So in case you haven't joined my Telegram group members, feel free to join by clicking the link below. All right, so let's get started. So the first question comes from Alejandro. Hello MJ, I have some NIO, XPeng and also Penn. Do you think they will start going up again anytime soon, or will the downtrend continue? Sometimes it looks like they stop falling, but then they continue. Okay, yep. So let's take a look at these three stocks. So NIO. All right. So this is NIO. The last update for NIO is about 2 weeks ago. I think roughly around here. So at that time, I talked about this is a sign of strength rally, and we're still waiting for a major backup action. So definitely, this is the backup action at the moment. And let's just start from here again. So definitely, this is a uptrend, and we are still within a very huge trading range you can see here. So this is the trading range environment that NIO has been in since probably last year, November. So right after this peak, there is a buying climax followed by a change of character, which actually sets up this trading range condition. So right now you can see that the price still pretty much fluctuate within this big trading range. Okay, so if we just focus on the recent price action alone, so this is probably a accumulation structure where we have seen this breakout, so forming a sign of strength rally, riding up a bit, and then forming an acceleration to the upside. So at that time, the sentiment is still relatively bullish, but still we know that even though this is a potential accumulation range, this is a sign of strength rally. We're still waiting for a backup action. And this bar actually changed the trend. So this is a change of character bar where we see there is a spike of the supply, and this is the most bearish bar that we have ever seen out from within this uptrend. So we've never seen this big bearish bar before. So definitely this is a change of character bar, which essentially sets out the backup action. So the whole chunk right here is the backup action. And this backup action actually just comes in at a bad timing because at this time, the China regulatory also just have a lot of the action against these China stocks that listed in the US. So NIO definitely is under a lot of pressure, and we can definitely see it with the volume pain as well. So you can see that supply has been increasing and still is relatively consistent. However, one thing that actually makes me a bit more comfortable if we just compare this chunk of the backup action, the reaction, compare it to this correction right here. So you notice that it's probably not as threatening as the previous correction. Despite that, I think this move probably is a lot bigger. So in terms of the magnitude. So in terms of the supply, I'll say that it's probably is decreasing. So if we just compare it with the trust wraps to the downside, so at the moment it's probably have a bit of the stopping action, especially on this bullish bar where we see that there is a pickup of the volume or the demand. But look at the rally. So the rally is very weak. So the weak rally did not really stop the uptrend. So that's why I still suspect that there is another push down, another leg down. Uh, at this point, probably I think it will test this support area where I actually box up in the green rectangle here. So if you can just attempt to break lower, break this swing low, just sort of forming a support and rebound it from here, I think that would be a bullish development. Because in terms of the momentum, I definitely see that there is a bit of the decreasing of the down momentum. So if we can just sort of just support it at this green rectangle right here as a support area, and then forming a great rally up, then I think sort of probably can expect this is probably the bottom. But anyway, we still need to see how the price actually interact within this support area. So the support area is right at about 40 to about 42. So 40 to 42 is an intermediate support area. So if you can just rebound from here, then I think that it will just sort of forming its on action, probably another trading range, and then keep going up, eventually sort of like routing, and then just to challenge the previous high again. So that's of course the bullish case. So this is the first level of the support area that we need to see some of the bullish development for the bullish case. All right, so right now I'm not very bearish for NIO. Definitely short term is still have the reaction unfolding. Okay, so this is NIO. Let's look at Xiaopeng. So XPEV Xiaopeng, okay, is also the electric vehicle. So you can see that it's sort of topping right here. So this is a sign of strength rally. So sign of strength rally and then forming a backup action. And right now, we can see that it's sort of attempt to break lower. So if we just trade this as the whole chunk here, so this is the immediate support area, then I think on Wednesday it's sort of forming a spring. So it's just a temporary commitment below, even with a bit of the increasing of the supply, but eventually still managed to get back up and just commit above this support area at about 38. So in terms of the structure, I think it's probably the reason price development is slightly better than NIO, but we still need to see whether you can really commit above and whether this support area is really can hold the reaction. Okay. However, if we still continue to see a bit of the breakdown below, then I think it still need to find its own support. But in terms of the supply level, we definitely see decreasing of the supply. So this is definitely big bearish bar, and also this big bearish bar as well. So in terms of the trust to the downside, so here's a trust to the downside, trust to the downside with decreasing supply. So we see that trust to the downside has been decreasing. So that actually suggests that the down momentum is fading. So this is a bullish characteristics. So I just wonder if we can just sort of have an attempt go up. Otherwise, we'll just probably have another attempt and to break lower, and with a decreasing of the downward spread or the downward thrust, and then before you can just sort of form a change of character, and from here on then it probably will have some form of the structure itself, and to still respect this whole chunk as the backup action out from this sign of strength rally. So in terms of the bigger structure, I think it will still valid. So I will view the whole chunk of this downtrend is probably N, and with the this is a change of character, have a spring with a sign of strength ready. So this whole chunk will be still the accumulation range. However, if it just have a very bearish sentiment to keep breaking lower with the increasing of the supply and also this sort of the big bearish bar, then certainly it will just go back and test the swing low level again. So for the more bullish case, I will just anticipate some form of another push down followed by a rally, and then it will sort of forming its own structure right here. Maybe is a downsloping type of a structure, and then you can just break out and trend higher for the bullish case. For bearish case, of course, what we want to see is increasing of the supply with some sort of the bearish bar, and I think we'll just go down lower to test the swing low again. All right. So the last one I think is Penn, Penn National Gaming. Okay, in terms of the structure, Penn is a lot more bearish. So definitely there is a topping here. So this is a very typical distribution. So we have seen that this acceleration to the upside, like sort of forming a buying climax. So this is a buying climax, and this is the upthrust after distribution. So this is like a temporary commitment just above the immediate resistance level. So you see that this is a temporary commitment, just one bar, and then followed by the next bearish bars fail back in with the increasing of the supply. So you can see that supply is increasing. So it's a very classical distribution, upthrust after distribution, and then the downtrend actually started. So you can see this is sort of the sign of weakness, the most bearish or the most largest down wave we have seen if we compare to the previous down move, and then followed by inability to rally. So this is the inability to rally, and eventually just sort of drift down and failure. So this is the breakdown. It comes with the increasing of the supply, and we found some support, a temporary support. We can see that there is a demand come in with a attempt to rally, but still unable to commit above the supply zone, and then eventually have another leg down. So far, you can see that the rally is typically very weak. So the rally is very weak right here. um, sort of forming a trading range, and it's spread down lower. So in terms of finding the bottom or the support, probably the previous accumulation range will be some form of the good level to watch. I will say that will be somewhere around 60 or 58. So let's see how it can react after it just sort of touching this area around 60. So if you can just sort of get some support from here on, then hopefully you can just finding its own bottom with maybe a trading range or some other structure will just form. But right now, it's still finding a support with a downtrend is still ongoing. So you can see this is probably down channel. This is another down channel. But from this gradient, you probably can tell that it's not as steep as before. So this is the first downtrend from here to the last one. So it's sort of like the down momentum has been fading. So this is one encouraging sign for the bullish case. But still, we need to really to see aggressive demand come in, pick up, and to have initiated the great rally in order to really stop this downtrend and into some form of the bottoming process. And then it can probably form its way up. All right, so this is Penn, and hope I answer your question, Alejandro. If not, just carry on with the conversation here. So I'm happy to just continue with the conversation. And next questions. Okay, scope this Malaysia stock. Okay, that next question comes from John Low. Hi MJ, would love to know about your updated new thoughts on TIGR. Watch your analysis video on TIGR last week and would love to know about your views. Okay, um, let's have a look at the TIGR. I don't think there's much development happening for TIGR, but let's give it a look and see what happened. Okay, so last week I also talked about TIGR, updated about TIGR. I mentioned, if I remember correctly, is still sort of finding its bottom, and probably you need to commit above the level around 22.5, then you can get back up. But you can see there's no attempt to rally up, and in general it's very bearish for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So it's still very bearish right here. In terms of the immediate support level, I think we are approaching it. So you can see that there is a gap area right here. It's sort of filling up the gap. And in terms of the momentum to the downside, certainly the first leg down is super bearish. So it's sort of right below. So that is the thrust to the downside. And subsequently, sort of just have another attempt to break lower. But you can see the thrust to the downside is getting smaller. So this is how I will view this, and suggesting that the down momentum is fading. I think it's pretty similar for quite a lot of the stocks, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we will see a reversal from here on and the bull just resume itself up. So no, not what I mean, but it's just that there is some changes in the downtrend. So the down momentum has been fading. So this is one of the encouraging sign for the bulls. However, in terms of the volume, we still see generally quite a high volume if we compare this down leg to this down leg. So this reaction to this reaction, we can see that it's a lot more volatile in the recent reaction. So quite a lot of the gap here and also big spread, unlike the previous one. So in terms of the volume is a lot higher as well. So definitely this is a lot more bearish, and in terms of the magnitude, certainly this is bigger than the previous reaction. All right. However, I just want to see whether you can just support from this level. Somewhere around 17 to 18 is the immediate support level based on the gap area. So this is the gap support area. Okay, 70.5, probably to around 18. I will view this whole chunk here so as the support area. But let's give it a bit more leeway, like maybe the swing low at around 16. So I will probably we'll probably see another push down and probably just sort of settle itself with a decreasing of the supply level. That's for the bullish case. So that is actually what I actually anticipated. So we still need to really respect the market and see how it actually evolve. Okay, so this is TIGR and that's my view. But if you just take a holistic view, this is the broad picture. So acceleration, run up, collapse, and forming the potentially still an accumulation structure. So this sign of strength rally certainly is fail. So we have seen a sign of strength rally, the backup action. You can see this is the backup action, but that is a failure. So after the failure, I probably expect go back and test the low. So there are a few support level here and also the swing low. So let's see how it actually develop. But in terms of the big structure, we are still pretty much in a trading range. So this is the trading range, and yeah, so not much change. We're still within this big trading range, and I think if we can see a rebound from here on, some form of the reversal signal can form quite a nice long entry, and that will offer great reward to risk ratio because your upside target will probably at least at a swing high level at about 24, while your risk or your stop loss will be probably below here, below this swing low. All right, so let's keep monitoring TIGR. And I think there is one more stock. So let's have a look. The next question. Okay, SGX and QS Malaysia. Okay. Okay, so this is the last question. Comes from Berlin. Hi MJ, would like to know more about QS. I'm a bag holder. Ah, great. I like the bag holder. I love the bag holding scenario. So let's just take a look at the QS. So bag holder. Let's see what happened for QS. QuantumScape. So it's in a very straight downtrend at the moment. In terms of pricing, let's look at the log chart. Okay. So this is probably a very speculative run up with aggressive volume. So you can see that there's a lot of the demand push price up and followed by a collapse. So this is like a parabolic run up followed by a like a TP formation distribution. You can see there's a lot of the selling, especially on this bar and this few bar here. So this is definitely a supply zone. So right after that, supply has been decreasing and we see an attempt to rally up. So look at where the rally actually stopped. So it actually stopped right within this supply zone and actually forming trading range. But this is a redistribution. So right after the selling on the way up and also selling on the way down, and we see a distribution here as well. So quite a lot of the supply come in when it's actually approaching this supply zone. And subsequently, we see that the rally is getting weaker and weaker, and eventually it's just have the capitulation to the downside with a spike of the supply and another back test. So pretty much a textbook style breakdown, back test, continue to trend down, and right now, in terms of the immediate support level, I will just look back at the previous structure. So it's probably testing the previous structure right here. This is the breakout area, the acceleration to the upside. It's probably testing this as the support area. But in terms of the volume and also the price development, it's not very encouraging. At least it's still within this down channel. So it's sort of still just traveling within the down channel. I think that it's probably forming a trading range. So for a bullish case, I definitely want to see a trend higher. So if you can just sort of break above or break out from this downtrend line or the down channel, so this is the first sign that it's probably we see the bottom right here, but definitely you need to come in above 31.5 and for the bull trend to resume higher. Otherwise, I would say it will still pretty much just keep finding its bottom. So definitely, I think this level is the first resistance level, about 25. So if you can just, it still struggle to get back up, then I think we'll just keep trending lower to find its own support. So right now, this is what I will see the QuantumScape. It's still bearish and it's still within this down channel. So we just need to see how it can develop itself or forming a bottom right here. So this move up probably will is probably a bit more vibrant if compared to the past volume. Probably we can just view this as a 10 to stop the downtrend. However, it's still pretty much resisted by the level. So this is the access line or the resistance 31, 31.5. So as long as it's just fail at this level, it still will just continue within this down channel. All right, so this is QS, and hope that your back holding strategy is working out. All right, and I think that's all for the question. And thanks for watching. I will see you next week.